Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters Encounters video. I thought I would mix this one in here yet again, another Encounters video as I'm wrapping up your other new suggestions. This one because once I saw this title and I was looking at the information in it, along with one key item involving how this creature looked, I definitely wanted to share it here. It's absolutely the first of its kind when it comes to apparently the atmosphere that this creature does. You'll know about that more here in a minute, but it comes from the reddit.com website. They're from the subreddit called Crawler Sightings. So those of you that are fans involving crawlers, I do see y'all here when it comes to the views in the comments. Lots of good fans out there. This is going to be a good entry for you. And it's from a user by the name of Cal_Bunga. They named theirs as Something Gray in the Night, My True Story. So let's go ahead and let's share their encounter here, and then I'll give my own thoughts and opinions on it afterward. Let me know what you guys think too, especially because there's a location associated with it. So here's what they state. This happened in northeastern Oklahoma within the Cherokee Reservation around 2008 in the beginning of fall. Myself and 8 other of my friends and I went to a school, and we had all this meet up at a friend's house to hang out for the night around the campfire, listen to music, etc. We were all about 15 or 16 years old. My friend had a trail that went maybe over a quarter of a mile into the woods, where it led to an open circle in the wooded area. There was a fire pit inside with a single tree, and then another trail that led south from the opening where we would be hanging out for the night. And so we sat around doing this and all that, just BSing into the night. And may I remind you that we were not partying. No booze, no smoke, no nothing. Just 9 of us out in the woods having a good time. And so it gets to around 2:30 or 3 in the morning, and that's when things changed. We are all up having a good time, and my friend T. John gets up, heads over to the entrance of that south trail over at the edge of the cutout to take a piss. I just happened to look up from the fire and turn to look in that direction, and up and in front of him in that trail, this gray figure stood up in front of him about 20 yards away. I asked him quietly if he saw it, and he looks up, and then he comes back to the fire with the rest of us. My eyes are locked on this figure standing alone in the dark. Now, this thing is standing about 7 feet tall. It was gray with a staticky cloud look to it. Its legs started about where the bottom of one's chest plate would be, had these long, lanky arms which laid down almost to where its knees would be, and then these black, hollow eyes, no mouth or nose. All 9 of us are now staring at this thing, and no one can move. Someone started to cry, some kept their heads down. I kept my eyes right on it. Looking at this thing while it stood there, it looked right back at us. And then it moved horizontally to the right into the woods off of that south trail, slowly moving around. It got to a part of the woods that during the day you could see was about a 7-foot tall rock wall. When it approached that, it hovered over this wall with no struggle at all, and then it slowly went back off into the depths of the dark woods and then faded away. We didn't leave that fire until the sun came up, and we got out of there as fast as we could. We didn't talk about that night for years after that. We kept it to ourselves, and I only telling it to the people who were close to me. 15 plus years later, I had asked some of the people who were there if they remember what happened and what we had witnessed, and every single one of them remembered exactly what it looked like and then exactly what it did. 9 of us saw something in those woods that night, and it saw us as well. That's my story of a real encounter of something I could not explain other than seeing with my own eyes and having 8 other people with me who saw the same thing, who knows what it was. I put this story on other subs, but this one seemed to have similar accounts. Thank you. And then that's it. That's everything that the user Cal Bunga mentioned in their entry, Something Gray in the Night, My True Story. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that here. Fascinating story, right? What was this thing? Obviously, it's in the subreddit associated with crawlers, and it definitely has all the characteristics of the crawler. More on that here in a minute. So it's fascinating to think about what exactly it could truly be. So I was mentioning earlier about the location, northeastern Oklahoma. Cherokee Reservation. Anyone know exactly what's there, what type of land it is, and so on? If you're a local, let me know if it's like haunted or if it has some type of specific cryptid or some other type of paranormal entity, maybe even skinwalkers, anything along those lines. Let me know because this is exactly where it happened. But the thing that stood out to me the most was the description of its atmosphere. So one thing was it was 7 feet tall. Its legs were basically as long as someone would be whenever it goes up to the height of the chest plate. That's where the legs would basically end. Shows you how tall this thing was. It had these long, lanky arms. It had the hands that reached all the way to the knees. Black, hollow eyes, no mouth, no nose, and then it was grayish color. But the thing that definitely stood out to me the most, it had this staticky cloud with it. I mean, that instantly grabbed my attention. What would that be? Here you have something that apparently maybe has camouflage, has something else that is coming out of it, or maybe it's just creating it as a defense or something like that. Because the user didn't mention that there was fog throughout the entire area, nor did they mention that there was anything else around the location that had that same look. But this had a staticky look to it. Was it electronic? Was it some other type of technology? Who knows? I mean, it's kind of weird saying it, but it reminded me of that staticky look that the predators have, right? Whenever they're under their camouflage, how it kind of bends and distorts the light. And so you're looking at it and it kind of looks like it's there, but it's not. Made me wonder if this thing was somewhere along those lines. Like maybe it had its own technology of sorts that it was using to be able to reappear and then disappear. And that's how it basically just appeared right in front of them, 20 yards away, as one of them was able to go out there and try to take a piss. But here, now all of a sudden, this statically cloud was on it. And then on top of that, the reason I highlight that is in the comments of this subreddit here, someone else was mentioning it. They said, I saw something very similar, but it was green static. And this was near northeast Oklahoma, a little bit farther east in Arkansas. So they too saw a creature that had a staticky look to it, but it was a greenish color. So now we have two people, same thing, same situation, but one was a different color, gray, and the other one was a different color, green. How about that, right? Interesting stuff. So it looks like there's more of these out there. And even one mentioned that it could have been sighting of aliens that also appeared to look like they had a staticky look to them. I have never heard of that before. That's why I wanted to showcase it here. And let me know what you guys' thoughts and opinions are on it too. But that's pretty much it. That's everything associated with this encounter. Clearly, this one happened 15 plus years ago for this user, and it still stuck to them. He mentioned him and all the other ones. Remember it to the T. Let me know what you guys think. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.